It wasn't supposed to be this way, I kept thinking, contrasting the newly married woman at 22 who was able to purchase a house, who was starting a career and making plans for the future with her husband, with the then 32-year-old, abandoned, betrayed, renting a room from a friend, nothing left to her name. It wasn't supposed to be this way, I thought, remembering all of the promises that my then husband had made to me, saying that he would never leave me, saying that he would never hurt me, and then realizing that he had done exactly those things. It wasn't supposed to be this way, I thought as I looked back over all of the sacrifices that I had made for the marriage, for him, over the years. Sacrifices that I was fine with because I thought we were working as a team, only to find out later that instead of working with me, he was working against me, using me. It wasn't supposed to be this way, I thought as I contemplated dating again for the first time since my teenage years. Instead, I thought that I would be with one man until I died. And it's so difficult, isn't it, when we expect that our life is going to go a certain way, when we have made plans, when we have been given promises that that would be the case. And then when, because of infidelity, all of a sudden we're off script. And it can be so disorienting when all of a sudden our life changes direction because we thought we had certainty and all of a sudden we're left where nothing is known. It's also scary because we don't know what to expect, because everything that we thought we knew, turns out we didn't. It can be embarrassing because we feel like we should be at a certain point in life, a point where maybe we were, and then all of a sudden we feel like we've been catapulted back and that we're not living like all of our peers in that same life stage. So the first thing I want you to ask yourself is, whose script are you paying attention to? Is this voice telling you that it's not supposed to be this way coming from within you, which is one thing, or are these voices, are these this noise that is coming from outside of you, from others telling you or implying that you should be at a certain point in your life and shaming you because you're not? Now, I'll get to that internal voice in a minute, but first I want you to really think about how much merit are you going to place in others' expectations of you? Do these people want you to be at a certain point in life because it's really what's best for you? Or do they want it because it's what's best for them, or it fits the image that they want you to project to the world? Also, be careful who you're comparing yourself to. It's so easy for us to put others up on this pedestal and see their lives as somehow perfect while bemoaning our own situation. And the reality is that nobody's life is perfect, even though that can be so hard for us to see when we're in the depths of things. You know, I know for me, I was one of the first in my peer group to go through divorce. And so at that point, I saw all of my married friends' relationships as ideal. And I thought that mine was the failure. Well, now, 12 years later, guess what? A lot of those marriages have ended too. It's not that mine was horrific and theirs was somehow perfect. It's that we were all on our own paths, all on our own timelines. Now, when it comes to your own voice, your own script that you've written for yourself, be so careful to pay attention to what sort of logical leaps you may be taking. You know, a common one is, since this relationship ended, the belief that I will never find love again. Or since I wanted children and I never had them with this person and that relationship is now over, therefore I am never going to have children. And we fall into that trap so easily because at the beginning, all you're feeling is that loss. And so we basically project that loss forward, thinking that that's always going to be the case. And so there's that acceptance of, you're not going to have love with this person. You're not going to have a child with this person. You're not going to grow old with this person. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to have those things again. And one of the things I think that we really struggle with is the acceptance that different can be better. I want you to think, have you ever watched a movie adaptation of a beloved book for the first time? And the first time you watch that movie, you're frustrated, you're annoyed because it doesn't follow the book. And all you can think about is all of the ways that it is falling short of your expectations. But then afterwards, you recognize that, wait a minute, I actually sort of enjoyed that experience, even though it wasn't what I expected. And so you watch the movie again, and then maybe again. And at some point, you recognize that you love that movie, not for its ability to replicate what was in the book, but on its own, for the story that it tells. You recognize that it's different, but it's also good, maybe even better. The truth is we are never in control of our lives. We simply spend much of our lives lying to ourselves, pretending that we are. And when things like this happen, when that script that you had written for your life has been shredded up and thrown away, we are forced to accept that we are not in control. And I know this isn't what you wanted, but maybe, just maybe, this is how it's supposed to be.